And welcome back, everybody, to what will surely be a podcast filled with actual news, not like, hey, let's scrape the bottom of the barrel. Because at the end of August, typically there's nothing. And then the mega bomb that dropped just about, I would say 16 hours ago in regards to Spider-Man. Obviously, you guys can look at the topic. Everything will be Spider-Man, because much like our San Diego Comic-Con show, we wanted to break everything down one by one so we're not like scattered for an hour jumping from one to another. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So before we get into the show, let me just do some basic housekeeping. As always, this is your host, Armin. You can find me at Armini's and at Comic Book Cast. I'm here with Mitch.
Sup, you can find me at Mitch692.
Also Tristan.
Hey guys, you can catch me at J Chance.
And Shay.
Hey guys, you can find me on Instagram at Michelle1602.
So, as we said last week, still, you guys can get the first episode of the podcast for free. It is our gaming podcast. It's exclusive to members. You guys can get that. And this week, we will be covering Marvel's Avengers, Gamescom, and various other topics that are coming out from that. So, it's going to be a pretty big show for fans of video games.
Yep.
And I think there's some PlayStation 5 stuff as well we'll talk about due to potential leaks. But on top of that, if you guys look at your screen, there is a bonus topic the members will be getting. Last week we did how to introduce the X-Men into the MCU. This time, Spider-Man's future outside the MCU. And this is going to be different than what we're talking about here because it could impact a lot of stuff, which we'll talk about in that exclusive topic for you guys. So it should hopefully be good. Now, this podcast, we're going to do something a little different. In the members section, I actually posted, I needed some feedback from the fans on what do they think about this. So when we start each topic, I'm going to read off what a fan thought in that section to kind of involve you guys a little bit more. And this will become something that I want to try to do a little bit more with each show. So, we'll see how it goes. And I guess let's get into the first topic. Okay, guys, so Spider-Man is now out of the MCU, and it only just feels like we just got him.
Yeah.
I mean, the circus came to town early yesterday, so.
Yep. And this is one of those things where I didn't think this was going to happen, and I don't think many people thought that this was going to happen.
Because why would you think it?
Right.
Yeah.
They literally just have their highest grossing movie ever, and they're only their second $1 billion movie next to Skyfall. Why would it ever happen?
And the interest from the Sony perspective and the fan perspective and the Marvel perspective is they're tuning in because it's MCU connected. That's what drove it.
It's really weird because who's in charge of negotiations on Sony's side?
Tom Rothman.
Yeah, because Rothman, from what I've been reading, is that he was notorious for trying to shave dollars off the budget and whatnot, so that's probably.
I mean, remember, he was the one that was like the merc with the mouth needs to be Baraka, even though they had correct Deadpool designs. He was the one that literally, this is no exaggeration, at 3 a.m. before they started shooting at 6 a.m. on Wolverine Origins, he would walk in with a skeleton crew and repaint parts of the set, being like, I want them to look this color now. Like, the dude was, I don't know what he was thinking. He was the downfall of Fox's X-Men, starting with X-Men 3, so it's interesting. And here's what Todd Production Podcast, who is actually a CBC producer / sponsor level on our membership, said, I think that Avi did this out of spite and his hatred for Marvel. Venom made a lot of money. The two Spidey films, now he's no longer interested, and that's Sony. It's not business when there's an ongoing feud that's one-sided. So, I don't know how much, they downplay Avi's,
Avi's a producer. He played absolutely no part in this whatsoever.
Right, but
It's just like, it wasn't Kevin Feige making negotiations for Disney. It was Alan Horn.
Yeah.
It's those two. So, it's nothing to do with Avi or Feige.
Kevin Feige probably couldn't even sit in on the meeting. It was, the top brass. So, you're looking at Rothman, you're looking at the guys running the studios, and Kevin Feige runs Marvel Studios, but Marvel Studios is studios in name only. They still function under Disney, Buena Vista. So it's that illusion there that Marvel Studios is its own thing, which it is, but it's still controlled and overseen by Disney's higher ups, and that is a problem. And how did this when you saw this news, what was your first reaction? Yeah, right.
Speechless.
Like,
I honestly thought it was fake.
Same.
Because the first thing I saw was the CBR article, and I'm like, there's no way it's true.
Uh huh.
Right. Why would it be true? And it's like, you click on it, it's like, oh, it's from Deadline.
Yep.
Oh. And it's like, that's my evening ruined. I had a good day yesterday until that point, so thanks. No.
Like, it was, this is how it went for me. Riding high after the Avengers gameplay reveal, I'm like, it's a little, iffy here or there, but still, that game looks amazing, can't wait to get it. And within 4 hours, I was literally, like, crashing and burning like somebody stabbed me. I was like, oh, no, like, and like you, I saw it at CBR, so I'm like, all right, this is one of their clickbait articles, so I click it, and they're like, sourced from Deadline, and when I saw Deadline, my heart just took a dive. I was like, well, it's actually official.
He literally came in while we were grilling our food. He comes in like you would think he watched our cats get hurt, like, by a car, because his heart, like, was sunk, and he's like, oh no. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh God, what just happened? He's like, Spider-Man is no longer home. It's like, what?
You literally didn't believe me. You were like, no, you're lying. This is a lie. I was like, no, Shay, this is Deadline. And then it hit you. You're like, oh,
I
no.
became speechless, and I'm like, I want to just crawl into a hole now and just wait for this to blow over.
yeah, I mean, like I was speechless until I looked further in it with Dateline and a bunch of other news outlets, and seeing how it was basically a breakdown of communications on both sides, and then seeing what each side wanted, and just like, oh, okay.
So, according to Sony, because they released a quote-unquote press release, if you can call it that, considering they tweeted it.
At 3 a.m.
They're like, okay, so Kevin Feige's fault because he doesn't want to do this. It's like, no.
That was an obvious tactic. The whole thing's an obvious tactic anyway, but that was just like, come on.
Kevin Feige took time away from building up the original Avengers to go oversee TASM 1 and tell you what not to do, and then you ignored him on TASM 2. Like that dude is so in love with Spider-Man that he bends over backwards to you. Like, I think the stories are going to meet somewhere in the middle, and we're not going to know really what happened. And that's unfortunate, because I think there's a little bit, there's some shady stuff happening with Spider-Man. Like, that's the best way to put it.
It's one big old cluster, especially last night, because it's like, obviously, Deadline reported their bit, and it wasn't the full story at the time, and then, like, Variety reported it, and then THR came out and went, well, actually... It's not over. It's an impasse. So, it's like this negotiation failed. They're still in talks, and then like 5 hours later, it's like, it's not looking great.
Here's what really hurt me. I woke up that morning, and I always go, I'm like, okay, what thumbnails am I gonna make for something that I need to record today? And I check my email, and my Spider-Man source, I haven't talked to him in probably about 4 months. He messages me, and it says, big Spider-Man news coming later today. And in my thinking, I'm like, all right, so I'm going to get ahead on this. So I make the template and the thumbnail for Spider-Man 3 announced. I get all the tags ready, and I'm ready to record the video.
I mean, technically, you weren't wrong. Well, it wasn't unfortunate to make a Spider-Man 3 thumbnail, because Deadline did kind of go, oh yeah, Spider-Man 3 and 4 in development right now. It's just like, why?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but
it's kind of weird how the placement of this news broke out when they were going to re-release the movie in the theater week.
They ain't getting that 400 million domestic now, so I'm sorry, Sony. You kind of shot yourself in the foot.
No, you're going to re-release the movie, but we ain't showing up now.
Nope.
This ain't happening.
I mean, I couldn't show up anyway because it's America only, so no.
True. We're going to get on to our second topic with this whole Spider-Man discussion. Who here is really to blame? So, Mitch, Sony. Do you want to tell us what the kind of like standstill was, like what was happening that we know so far?
Right. Essentially, as far as I can put it together, we don't know the extent of the deal and everything. Obviously, they had the 5-picture deal. Now, for some reason, Tom Holland was signed on for 7 movies, which I don't understand why. So was Tom Watts.
And there's no way that Tom did not understand that only 5 are MCU and the rest are Sony. Like his dudes would have went over the contract, same with Watts. They're not stupid, so it's like, wait.
But even then, it's kind of like, well, we'll sign him for this amount of movies, but we'll renegotiate the terms of the deal and see how it's going after 5, and then you extend it. Obviously, that's how I understand that bit.
Yep.
We knew Sony put the money down for the solo movies, and Disney got nothing. It turns out Disney got 5% of everything. So from Far From Home, 1.1 billion total gross, they got 55,000.
Yeah, or 55 million. Yeah, that sounds correct.
Was it million or was it 1,000?
Wouldn't it be million? Because 5% of
it would probably be million from a billion.
Yeah,
I failed maths twice, so if you couldn't tell. Either way, either way, you couldn't pay for a movie out of that money. So, but really a lot.
There's also other reports coming out that Sony wanted Disney to co-finance half the film.
Yeah, which is what Disney offered to do.
Right.
It's come out, they wanted to co-finance 50-50 and also get 50-50 profits.
That makes sense.
Sony are like, no, we want all of it. So people saying Disney are greedy, like, really? No. They put all the work. It's their resources. It's their actors. It's their concept artists. Their set designers. Everything.
That's the thing people don't understand. Marvel took development from their own sources. Like, they used the people that work on everything MCU, the script writers, the costume designers, and they did that work on their own time. So they were spending money that Sony was not putting forward. It's like, what?
Yeah. It's basically Sony just showed up and just said yes, no to the things that were shown to them.
Yep.
Yes, Sony put the money briefcase down and walked away and then let Disney do everything. That's what it was.
Yeah. And the fact, though, that's like, if they wanted to renegotiate and be like, okay, let's do it 50-50 because we're going to now help finance it because it was a huge success. And Marvel and Disney barely saw any of that money. Probably how much resources Marvel and Disney put in was probably nowhere near the amount that they actually got back with that 5%. Not. So they're like, fine, let's do this. We're going to pay for half of the cost. And not only are we going to sit there and do that, we get half of the cost of everything back, and then we're going to make everything part of MCU, not just Spider-Man.
Well, that's kind of the thing we're going to talk about that in the next topic we have coming out for you guys. What I don't understand here is they try to negotiate this, and Sony is shifting the blame over on Disney. Disney hasn't rebutted as of this recording yet. They might not, who knows. But it confuses me that this giant core member who's been front and center of 3 of the biggest MCU films and 2 of his own standalone that literally brought him back into popularity after TASM, just completely just blindsided Spider-Man fans and failed that franchise, that they couldn't work something out. And according to reports, they did have counter offers, but Sony wouldn't accept it. So,
and before anyone says it, yes, we are all well aware that Disney has the merchandise rights.
Yes,
that is the thing that they do own. They only own that because Sony had to sell it back to Disney in 2011
because of the failures of Spider-Man.
Yep,
exactly. So you can use that argument, but people are going like, well, Disney sold Spider-Man from the first place. Well, Sony sold the merchandise rights stuff. So what's your point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the TV rights, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Which Sony, I feel like, and I was talking to Shay last night in a live stream. Sony has this pattern: when they hit a high, they follow up with a stupid low that completely sinks them. Yep. PlayStation 2.
They're also scared of the third movie.
No. Exactly. I don't get this. People, they have to understand. There's going to be a huge pushback against this, and there already is. Casual people, 2 people at the gym stopped me today. They were like, so, what's happening? And I'm not watching those movies. I was like, correct, you're not if you like the MCU. They're like, all right.
Have you seen the backlash on Twitter where people were saying that they're probably not going to see any more Sony movies because of this?
No, same.
You're not going to see Spider-Verse stuff, so what's the point in seeing anything? You can't.
Yeah. It's...
But just to speak to the ultra casual person, my mother was talking to me about this last night.
Oh, yeah.
She's like 50, 60. She's like, what is going on?
Yep.
No.
Spider-Man's back in pop culture better than he's ever been before. He's everywhere now. Like, he's peaked the last, 5 years, and that's kind of the thing. And the Nerds of the Multiverse also said, who's a sponsor level and a member, he says, yeah, I'm pissed at both Sony and Disney. Disney makes more than enough from all the other Marvel movies. They don't need the 50% of Spider-Man's profits. And Sony, congratulations. You've now lost any chance you've had at a successful Spider-Man franchise. Plus, you kissed all of those Spider-Man's TV shows goodbye. And that is 100% fact. That is...
I mean, it's like I'm just really weird because from what I've seen on Twitter and the internet is some people think that Sony created Spider-Man.
I someone be like, oh yeah, it's Sony's IP. It's like, no, it's not. Sony did not make Spider-Man.
No.
Disney has the IP because they own Marvel.
That's what I had to dive and tell the old people. And no, Sony. I'm like, no, they just made the movies. They didn't create the IP. It's been Marvel since 1962. And
it was never Marvel's the one who sits there and is like, hey, look, it's this many years anniversary.
Right.
There was never a dispute whether it was in Ibuka or Matoya over in Japan making Spider-Man. It was always Lee and Ditko, so
right.
They're Marvel, they're not Sony.
Exactly. So I guess that'll end it on the blank. Apparently, MCU wanted more Spider-Man control. Now, this can't be 100% confirmed, but we recently did learn that Kevin Feige directly was somehow involved with Venom. We don't know to what extent. It was apparently more than just a producer. Maybe he was helping.
Put it this way: the original trailer for Venom, or the original teaser trailer, had Marvel Studios on it.
Yep, exactly. So, his involvement was there. Now, new reports are saying that Feige was trying to push both sides to agree to have Marvel Studios involved with all the spin-offs. So Morbius, Kraven, whatever, would be part of the MCU, and they would all connect under one branch.
Yeah.
And Sony did not want that, apparently.
Yeah, because from what I said, the reports and reading them further is that Feige wanted to use more characters from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, and it's just apparently it broke down because Sony doesn't want to make money or to help Disney in whatever reason.
See, here's my thing with it. I don't think it's any creative reason. It's if they have a creative stake in the spin-offs, they get money from that. They got nothing from Venom. So that all went to Sony because that was a Sony thing in the end. So if they can make $1 billion or close to $1 billion off Venom on their own, they don't really want to give that money to Disney and Marvel.
But
so that's why they said.
Here's with the whole everything with Venom. Would Venom have succeeded if Marvel already didn't have Spider-Man in such a positive light?
See, that's an interesting question because I don't know.
Yeah,
it's such
you could make the argument.
I'm confused, kind of conflicted because part of Venom's success is because of Spider-Man. They're always been connected, and even with interviews and such, they're saying is Spider-Man going to be in Venom, and the only thing they could say is. You could ask the question of, was that the reason why? Was that question and everyone wanted to find out if it was connected, why it made $1 billion?
Yeah.
Or nearly $1 billion. I don't think
we'll
ever know that.
Venom, whether connected or not, still would have made around the same or maybe a little bit more, but I think the focus would have been to have Venom maybe still be a standalone, because that's what Sony was pushing, but feature Peter Parker in it. And that would have been something that would have really pushed Venom into way more positive light, because, again, it would have been Marvel Studios overseeing it. Kevin Feige wanted Marvel Studios to just do it, and Sony puts up the money, and it's same thing as the Spider-Man deal. That would have fundamentally changed everything, because we could have been getting one Sony film a year based off of those characters, and they would have had free access to everything. That to me seems like a win-win deal for everybody. I don't know how you could have, how did that fall through?
It's purely money. It's purely they don't want to give it up. That's it. That's what it comes down to in everything. It's literally just money.
And I understand, Sony is at the point that they're we need to potentially make as much money as possible in-house, to maybe save themselves from being sold off to another company. But this right here just made you less popular.
Oh my god.
And the amount of money somebody would have paid, say, 24 hours ago, just probably dropped.
Oh, like, I can guarantee you right now, there is already people I know that will look at the next film and go, oh, they can't connect to the MCU? They're just trying to... I'm out. Like,
yep.
I mean, that's the thing, you know, you're going to look at the third Spider-Man movie, because it is a threequel.
Yep.
They can't mention anything. They can't carry on the arc that was being set up and that's half done. Can they use Zendaya's character?
No, they cannot use...
That's not Mary Jane. That's Michelle Jones. So
no, and that's an original MCU character. So,
yep.
Like
all the suits are gone.
Everything. Yeah. Just Tom Holland stays.
Yeah. The new movie is going to be called Spider-Man Selective Memory Loss.
Well, actually, here's a good comment from another member, Infinity Watch, in our members chat. He says, I think they're going to fall flat on their faces again, and they aren't going to be happy until they bought or failed. I think he's correct. Like, I mean...
Well, here's the thing. Let's be 100% brutally honest here. The reason why we had him in the MCU in the first place is because the CEO of Sony, in general, pushed the studio to make the deal.
Yep.
We wouldn't have got that if he didn't care. So we've yet to hear from him. So maybe...
Didn't they replace the entire CEO?
No, I think he's still there.
Huh.
I think. I could be wrong. I think he's still there.
It says April 1st of 2018.
Is when the new one took over.
Because there still could be some hope, maybe?
Because it was Kaz Hirai as chairman and he's retired. So changing shift, just like Warner Brothers when things were... now you start to understand what was happening. Like,
but even then, it's like, you know, the Japanese culture is so much different to Americans. Like, I think the respect of carrying on more what the last person did might be a thing over there. Whereas over here, it's like, no, it's my time. But we just have to wait and see. I imagine Disney's gonna go to the new guy and be like, hey, you kind of boned us here.
Right now, they're gathering up all the evidence, being like, so.
Well, like, we sat there and we discussed it on a live stream yesterday. I'm at the point that I feel Disney will pay the overpriced amount and just completely cut Sony out. Like,
see, that would be great, but that depends entirely on if Sony takes the offer.
Right.
Yeah.
If Sony said no to the offer now, why would they say yes to an offer but losing the entire thing?
The last thing we know, and this was around TASM 1 when they were trying to come up with that deal, Sony wanted more than $4 billion for Spider-Man license alone, just for the movies. Just to put that into context, Disney bought all of Marvel for 4.2 and all of Star Wars for around 4. So Spider-Man is not worth as much as those brands stand on.
Has Sony even made $4 billion off the Spider-Man movies?
In total, maybe?
Yeah. If they have, it's just. So I don't really see where they got that price from.
Yeah, it's... I mean, that was, the old Avi Arad.
Yeah.
So total they've made, let me look at worldwide right now, 6.3 in 20 years.
Pay for it.
Yep.
It took 20 years and again, Far From Home and Homecoming in the top 3. So the two Marvel-touched ones.
Oh, so does that include Far From Home and Homecoming?
Yes. Yep.
So they've literally only made about 4 then?
Yep. Without the help of Marvel Studios.
And they wanted 4 before they made the TASM movies. So, yeah, that was a bit too much at the time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, that's that topic for you. Well, if you were excited for TV shows from Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse shows and the live-action shows, those ain't happening.
Yep. And people wondering why the Spider-Verse TV shows are going to be live-action is because Disney had to make them.
Yep.
Because, well, actually, no, Disney has the animated rights to Spider-Man. Sony does not. They have the live-action one.
And the live-action rights fall into the same category as the X-Men ones, where Marvel Entertainment with Jeff Loeb has to oversee it, and Jeff Loeb now works with Marvel Studios, Disney Plus, and Hulu, Direct Contact. So, if you were excited for those shows, they ain't happening ever.
You better start using your imagination.
Like,
Yeah.
It bothers me so much because I had so much hype and excitement for the spin-offs from Spider-Verse because it was going to be an amazing way to be able to see all these different characters in a different light, maybe potentially in the movie in the future.
From what Lord and Miller said, there was 4 to 5 projects in active development, 2 of those live action, 3 based on Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I mean, I would look forward to seeing a Nick Cage Spider-Man TV show. It'd be awesome.
And see, now, even if you're one of the people that supports that you hated MCU Spider-Man and you wanted him out, look at the casualty of what just happened. That's unfortunate for everybody. I don't get that mentality. And I've seen people be like, oh, I'm glad that, this franchise is over. I don't like these actors. I'm like, you hypocrites were literally the ones being like, oh, but now the X-Men guys are losing their jobs. Why are you people happy about that?
Have you seen the people being like, oh yeah, now we can get John Watts with full creative control? And it's like, you do know what studio he's working for, don't you?
Well, it's that. They could finally get Raimi's Spider-Man back with Tobey Maguire.
I mean, that's what I said. Then no.
I mean, well,
not even Sony's that stupid.
Well, I mean, have you seen Twitter? That's all.
I have seen Twitter, but those people are actually morons. Like, I'm sorry, you are dumber than a bag.
It's crazy. It is a crazy scenario. Like this whole situation, and what bugs me about this is like, we could have been living in a world if nothing happened, where in 3 years the Venomverse is spinning off into multiple TV shows which were in development. Spider-Verse has 2 to 3 cartoons out there. More, I guess, film spin-offs. It would have been completely awesome to see, this actually perfectly brings up another comment from a member. And Lone Wolf says, I'm going to boycott all of Sony's movies that come out from now on. I mean...
Sony has movies?
Jungle Book.
What's Jungle Book?
Or not Jungle Book.
Jumanji.
What's Jumanji?
The Rock movie.
Which one?
They're all the same.
The Rock Jungle.
The video game one.
Again, which one?
That's true.
I feel like that everybody's at a loss here. There's no win scenario with this, and the TV side of Spider-Man, I think, could have been something really cool to explore. We don't know what direction they were going in, and we're probably not going to find out. And everything on this pretty much hinged on the movie thing working out. There's no way that Disney's going to be like, oh yeah, sure, just produce these shows.
Also, I hope you didn't want a sequel to Insomniac Spider-Man. Because people are very vindictive in this industry.
It's kind of, unless they want to, back out on the contract, because it's a little bit different. How
yeah, but you can fudge that. No.
Oh yeah, they can.
They can get out.
I mean,
maybe not easily. It might be expensive.
Yeah,
but they can get out.
It was rumored right from the start, right from when Spider-Man was made PlayStation exclusive, that was part of the whole deal. Because it's no coincidence that both things, like Homecoming and that announcement, surfaced around the same time. And Sony was like, "Oh no, it's completely exclusive." Because why would Disney see the money signs putting this on PC, Xbox, and everything, and then go, oh sure, you can have it exclusively for one console? Exactly. It makes no sense. There's way more in that paperwork, and I think it's going to affect everything.
And Disney know full well that would hurt Sony.
Yes,
they're only profitable division, losing their fastest selling exclusive. And that's a hit.
And it'd also be a hit to Marvel Games as well.
But Marvel Games isn't exactly a moneymaker, so losing a bit of money compared to everything.
It'd be closing down that division because they wanted to get.
Not necessarily, because you still got Square Enix doing Avengers and everything.
It would spill over to Square Enix.
Remember though, because there are rumors that Disney still wants to buy a game studio. That's still prevalent. There was investors pushing for that Activision thing, and who's to say they aren't gonna? We don't know. Disney does want gaming.
Yeah, they could have, but they done that in the past, and it seemed time and again that Disney can't operate a gaming division at all.
Yeah, but at the same time, we've seen time and time again, Sony can't make a Spider-Man movie, yet here we are right now.
Here we are.
So it's kind of like, I wouldn't really say...
I'm just saying it's on both ends. It doesn't really make any sense, because one side can't make games and one side can't make movies.
Nothing about this scenario makes sense, honestly. Nothing. Like, there's not a single thing I look at this and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's none of this makes sense, which is... And
it's because of the fact that we're not getting full stories. Like, we're not getting everything 100%.
I need Disney to say something, because there's got to be more to this. Sony's was very one-sided. We're 100% innocent. Blame Kevin Feige. Blame the guy who literally goes out there and gives the fans what they want. That's the guy you want to blame.
Well, his thing, Disney won't come out and say a damn thing about this. They will keep quiet until everything is all said and done. It's kind of already all said and done now. I'm not going to say they're not trying to do anything, but you're not going to hear anything about it for a while.
You're probably not going to hear anything until after D23. Like, they're trying to push away any negative right now because they have everything they have to focus on with D23. Then after the D23 news has settled down, and if Sony is still being like, no, we're the innocent ones, then they'll come out.
Here's how it'll go. If an interviewer after D23, when, they have a chance to talk to any of the heads, if anybody asks Kevin Feige anything, he's going to go, well, we always have multiple IPs in development, and what I can tell you about the future is that the Fantastic Four are going to have a bright spot. He's going to deflect the question with an answer about a hyped property. Yeah. They will deflect this any way possible because that's what Kevin Feige does.
And the thing is he's not lying. Like, Kevin Feige is one of those people that, like,
he doesn't lie.
Cannot lie. So
he lies with truth.
He does.
Yes. He does.
So it's going to be really interesting, like, once D23 is over and Sony is done just pointing fingers constantly and not where the fingers need to be pointed, then we finally hear some sort of press release from Disney, and they say, we were unable to reach an agreement. Here are some aspects of agreements that we wish would have been able to come true.
That's what gets me, is how, like, just dirty and stinky that Sony tweet was. Like, remember when it was announced, they had a joint press release on Marvel.com. Why did they... Like, clearly something is out of norm here, because if the deal is retracted and they're moving in a different direction, I feel like Disney is smart enough to do a press release, which they do for everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's something here is so rotten, but we don't know what. It's...
The only thing is, like, let's be honest, we all know it was Disney that put this information out there in the first place.
100%.
Like, oh, Sony said no. There you go.
Yep, exactly.
Go crazy internet. Have at it.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, we didn't do it. It was them. It's like, it was too late.
Disney was 100. Kevin Feige and his Moogle John, from DC over there, that Jeff Johns, they're working together and they're bringing Sony apart. The Moogles.
Oh my gosh.
I would say, is he a Final Fantasy fan? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Because everyone's still claiming that this is a monopoly.
Oh
and I'm thinking that, like, the term monopoly is so overplayed, and a lot of people don't actually.
Disney could buy Sony, and they're still not a monopoly.
Yeah, they just gained their character back.
Yeah, because I could see if Disney tried to, they would be like, oh, we just literally bought them to shut them up, get Spider-Man back. Whoever wants it, take the rest of these properties. Maybe we'll keep Jumanji just because of Jungle Cruise and has The Rock.
It's the same thing.
Like, so that's about it, but y'all can have everything else.
It's like, if you look at it, Disney could buy everyone else bar Warner Brothers and still be putting out less movies than they are.
Exactly. Yep. Fact. That is fact.
That is fact.
So like,
Universal's, I think, the number one company that posts the most.
Disney puts out 13 movies a year, and they're a monopoly. Yeah. Warner Brothers puts out 48 to 60. Yeah. Like, what is up? Well, you guys don't know how to count. That's what's up right here. That's what's up.
Well, here's the thing is how many of those movies by Warner Brothers did you actually know were movies by Warner Brothers?
3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's the issue. Like, everybody, when it comes to Disney movies, everybody knows and everybody hears about them.
And they only put out the big IPs now. They're scaling back on even, like, riskier things. They're like, nobody's going to see Artemis Fowl. Like, what is...
I mean, that's their tax writer for 2020. Though,
oh, definitely. That's why I got delayed, so they could write that off.
So, and the thing is, it's like, then you sit there and you look at all the other companies that produce how many freaking movies. It's like, well, how many of those did you actually hear about? How many of those did Little Small Vermont's movie theater actually pick up? Oh, maybe a handful of them?
We saw them, because that's what we do.
That is what we do.
I don't know. Hopefully we get more on this soon, but we'll get back to this whole Spider-Man future, I guess, if something gets worked out.
What happens with Spider-Verse in general? Does Sony have the animated film rights as a thing, or is that leased out?
Oh, that's a good one.
Does that mean that Spider-Verse as a whole is dead? No.
Right. That's probably so complex, like...
Yeah.
Because it is animated and they have live action rights.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
boy.
know Disney has the animated ones, because obviously Spectacular went, so...
If this ends up being a casualty of that, oh no. This day extracts a heavy toll.
Reality is often disappointing.
Thanos quotes perfectly fit the situation.
Oh my god.
Let's get to the big topic right here. It's obviously safe for last because there's a lot to talk about in this one. Venom and Spider-Man. There is no doubt in my mind when they were saying Tom Holland is probably going to cross over now with the contract and the extension and all that clowning that Sony was doing. This is what they were setting up. He's totally coming to Venom. I don't know if it's Venom 2 or Venom. They're probably going to make
Venom 2. I put money on it. Yeah. But why would you have that? Oh, there's no time frame for Venom 2, and we only have a director. We've got nothing else. Like they were biding their time.
Yeah. They have in Venom 2. They have Venom and Carnage to just go maximum Carnage with Spider-Man in it.
They had Carnage in the first one. They just painted him grey.
Oh.
And we know that for a fact because there's concept art out there of Riot being red and black. So it was supposed to be Carnage. So.
But then they have two Carnages.
I mean, they got two Carnages anyway.
The worst scenario here is I didn't hate Venom. That's the way I can sum up Venom. I didn't hate Venom.
That's where you're wrong.
I found it entertaining in that early 2000s garbage comic book way. You know, where you can be entertained.
Like a turd in the wind.
Right, like X3. X3 is a prime example. I'm like, I hate that movie, but it's entertaining garbage. I don't know. I don't want to see this version of Spider-Man just wander off into Venom, but he's not the version we know. It's just Tom Holland, but he can't have any association with everything we know. They're
just gonna dig out the TASM suit and put him in that.
Gross, Mitch, please don't.
I mean, it's Sony, not me.
I've been sitting here saying, I'm waiting for social media and Tom Holland to make his presence known on this, of him crying in the corner saying, I just want to go home to Marvel. Because everything that he has loved, so Spider-Man in a whole is what Tom Holland loved, and ever since TASM 1 he's been wanting to be Spider-Man. So the fact that he finally got it, and he has given us, in my opinion, one of the best live action adaptations of Spider-Man that we have gotten, and now here he is not home with Marvel. He now has to be Peter Parker Spider-Man with nothing. With
no connection, no character development. They're just going to drop him, a random new Spider-Man played by Tom Holland, into Venom and be like, it's the guy you like, but nothing else carries over. This is the most backwards way I've ever seen anything done. It just, it's so frustrating. And Sony, clearly, this is their, backpedal into Spider-Man. They're like, oh, good, one everybody likes. The people won't wisen up. They'll just show up because they have to. It's like, no.
The
people are smarter than that now.
See, I'm more surprised that they can actually use Tom Holland. Because I always thought he was under Marvel.
That's right? What we thought, too.
It must have been Marvel cast him with a Sony contract.
Yep. And here, laying down the law, who's another member, he actually said this, and this is a longer one, so I'm going to read it. He says, was looking forward to Venom 2, especially after the announcement of Andy Serkis. Loved the first Venom, but I'll be watching all of Sony's productions that I'm actually interested in. Zombieland 2, online for free, not giving Sony any more. 5 years in the future when Sony has to sell off and we'll just be sitting around like, you should have listened when you had the chance. And this is actually echoed by multiple people in the CBC member section. They
Can
were
I
all
just say
like,
before we go on, we do not condone torrenting and pirating.
definitely not. We do not.
No, let's not do that. Though.
I get people's frustration. This is nobody wants this. There is nobody that wants this.
No.
Sony doesn't even want it, but they're too like, oh, I'm Tom Rothman, man. And that's actually what it is. Like,
I kept some of those paint chips off of the set of Wolverine.
you just huffs him every day.
We got eating the member berries.
Oh my gosh. It's the unfortunate thing is us the fans are the ones who are suffering the most, because Marvel, yes, it's going to hurt them because they have to now, when we get to our next topic, figure out what they're going to do. Because they had A plan, now they have to go with B plan. And then Sony is just thinking, yeah, we've got this, we're going to make lots of money. And then when they realize that, oh, the internet boycotted them and everybody's going to go and see some other whatever crap movie like okay, I've never watched the Medea, so if you like them, that's great. I'm just saying this is like an offshoot movie. Medea 17 and a half will come out the same day, and everybody's going to go and see that instead of Sony's
The thing about this is fine. Venom's sequel's going to make money. Yes, toss Spider-Man in there. Oh, I think it'll make money, because China alone is going to give it another 500 mil.
Yeah, I don't think it'll hit $1 billion, but it'll make some money. Not enough to recoup anything, but it'll make something.
And just by them tossing Spidey in there, they can produce an absolute like dumpster fire of a script, and people will show up. And there is people out there, I know some of you listen to this are going to find this insane, that think that Venom is more comic accurate than Homecoming and Far From Home's version of Spider-Man. These people do exist.
But these people don't read anything, so do they really count?
Well, and then, of course, you're going to have those fanboys of Tom Holland. Not of him as Spider-Man or anything. Just the fact that Tom Holland. So they go and they see every single one of his movies. It's like my mom with Nicolas Cage. She'll watch whatever Nicolas Cage comes out. It could be a dumpster trash, but she's still going to watch it because she loves Nicolas Cage. There's going to be those people that are now like, oh, Tom Holland's now with Tom Hardy? Let's go see this.
Oh, my God.
And that is going to make them money, but it is not going to be the amount of money that they think.
Oh, no. I just almost threw up in my mouth.
Oh, because you just thought of DeviantArt, didn't you?
No, you know how Sony has the stand people that run the accounts and they do all the quirky stuff? They're literally going to be posting Tom and Tom hearts at each other and stuff.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's gross. Oh, my God. All right, guys, we got to storm Sony. It's happening.
Well,
Naruto run in there.
We had somebody sit there and one of the fans yesterday said that exact thing. Let's no longer raid Area 51. We're going to go and raid Sony instead.
No, definitely. We got to do it.
The other thing about that is that raid Area 51 became a party now.
Oh, yeah, it did. It's becoming huge, so...
Oh, so it's now rave Area 51?
Yeah.
We're going to rave at Area 51?
Yeah, after the guy who sponsored the whole thing got a government call, he changed it to a party.
So now we're just going to shift our focus to storming Sony HQ.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. They can't have a lot. Like, they still probably got a bunch of, like, PS Vitas to throw at us.
In someone's garden.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they just have Vitas, and once they run out of Vitas, then we just, we break free.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
it's not brick and mortar, it's brick and Vitas.
Brick and Vitas. Overproduced. Didn't do nothing. So thanks a lot, Sony. I guess we'll see how Spidey ends up in the Venom films and how you explain... This is going to take some magical writing that you do not have talent for.
No, they don't.
That also speaks on what's going to happen to Morbius.
My boy!
I mean, Morbius was going to be trash anyway, so nothing's going to change there.
You mean outstanding?
Outstandingly bad.
They stick Tom Holland in there and he'll be sucking on
like I said,
plasma.
I can't wait till we hear Tom Holland.
Can we not say Morbius sucking on
plasma?
Tom Holland? You know Jared Leto's going to do it. Thank God Tom's old enough. You know he's going to do it.
Like I was saying, Tom is going to go into his trailer to try to take a nap. Leto's going to be hanging above him like sucking blood.
And biting him.
What is happening to me?
He's gonna literally we're never gonna see Tom Holland again after if he has to go on to the set of Morbius. Has anybody
seen Leto recently? He's probably so pale he looks like a piece of paper.
Well, I mean, it's daylight, so I can't see him, can I?
That is true. That is true. And so that's it, guys. So hopefully you enjoy that. This brings us to the end of the main show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. You know, very Spider-Man filled, but we split it up because we wanted to kind of keep some sort of order here for you guys. So hopefully we did a...
we literally just talked about the one thing, but
yeah, but everything was pretty broken down, I'd say. So thank you guys for listening, and as always, we'll be back next week, and it'll be a good show because, well, D23 is happening this weekend, so news is coming at us. So take care, everybody, and we will catch you next week.